And here we discover the secret location of another fantastic covenant, the Heirs of the Sun, or more commonly known as the Warriors of Sunlight. The Warriors of Sunlight are one of the most popular covenants in the Dark Souls series, and you can always recognize them by their distinct, sunny orange glow. Their ring, the Sun Seal, reads, "Rings of the Heirs to the Sun Covenant. Slightly increases miracle attack power. Worship of the sun, now a lost belief, was once widespread amongst great warriors. Members of this covenant can leave their golden signs to be more easily summoned to join brethren in jolly cooperation." And that last line there is a very obvious nod to the original Warrior of Sunlight, Solaire of Astora. And when you first met him in the original Dark Souls, he said that he could assist you in jolly cooperation, so I love how they made mention to that line here. So basically, the Heirs of the Sun and the Warriors of Sunlight are a more fun way to help other players out. So instead of just being a normal white phantom when you're summoned, you'll be a golden phantom, When you help a player defeat a boss, you'll receive a Sunlight Medal, and these can help you rank up in the Covenant of the Heirs of the Sun, giving you greater rewards as you rank up.
Still on the road, are you? Sorry to have burdened you so. This is for you, by way of an apology. I found my thoughts growing hazy. My memories are fading, oldest first. The curse is doing its work upon me. I am frightened. Terribly so. If everything should fade, what will be left of me? I had an older brother. We learned to fence together. He became the most decorated swordsman in all of Mirror. I never even compared to him. In fact, I never beat him. Not once. But then, one day, he was gone. Lost without a trace. Now I'm certain that he was taken by the curse. If only someone would hear my tale. My brother must have come here, too. Soon I may forget even about him.
We can see that Lucatiel of Mira's memory is continually fading, but she does tell us something we didn't know about before, that she idolized her brother, who was an even greater swordsman than her, and a brother who she believes came to this land of Drangleic. It's very possible that her brother was one of the main reasons she came to this land, and it wasn't entirely just because of the curse. Lucatiel's tale is becoming increasingly somber, but if we stick together with Lucatiel, her journey will have a good ending. I feel that the Covetous Demon is one of the most underappreciated bosses of Dark Souls 2. Most people just think of this boss as a joke because he's a bit of a pushover, but he has one of the most unique movesets in the game, and he does have some really fascinating lore behind him. As you could probably tell, I did end up dragging out that boss fight for a little bit longer just because I love his design and the music that accompanies him with his fight. The Covetous Demon may not be very challenging, but I love his boss fight all the same. The Covetous Demon's soul reads, "Soul of the Covetous Demon, that devours all things. Eating is an expression of desire. There once was a man whose deep affections were unrequited. He transformed into the Covetous Demon, which only made him lonelier than before." Now this is particularly interesting because this is a man who was transformed into a demon. The demons of Dark Souls were usually birthed from the flame of chaos, but the Covetous Demon is unique in the fact that he was birthed from a man who was just consumed with desire, and he took on this monstrous form, which ultimately ended up hurting him in the end just because he became so grotesque and ugly. But who was this woman he had deep affections for? This is revealed in the weapon you get from his boss soul, the Bone Scythe. Scythe forged from the soul of the Covetous Demon. The curved spine of the Covetous Demon is as hard as rock, and rather than slicing through flesh, this weapon seems to grind it apart. The thing that ended up a mysterious fiend, what was it to begin with? And why did it never leave the queen? Perhaps it was entranced by some perversion of love. And the queen that is mentioned here is actually Mytha the Baneful Queen, the woman who rules over the Earthen Peak Tower and the rest of Harvest Valley. She was the most beautiful woman in all the land, and the man who became the Covetous Demon had such deep affection and likely lust for this woman that it transformed his body and mind into this monstrous foe. And he was consumed with gluttony as well as lust, as he would devour anything he came across. But in the end, the Covetous Demon never received what he truly wanted, as we'll find the queen herself at the peak of this tower.
I sense power. Very good. From this day, you shall be my new head. I am Carillion, Carillion of the Fold. Surely you've heard the name. Now, do not be afraid. Let us explore the limits of sorcery. The forces of magic and souls lie dormant in this land. It is a fitting place to hone my sorceries. I suspect that I may even conjure up new spells here. Sorcery is yet a mystery, even to me. Let us mature together, young pupil. Young pupil, may we meet again in Majula. So you finally decided to join us. Let us resume our exploration of sorcery. The forces of magic and source use scroll, but the power of each scroll is reliant on that of its owner. The untrained cannot wield a scroll to its proper potential. Never forget, young pupil, there are no shortcuts to mastery. Young pupil, do not take my teachings lightly.
most charming soul. Very good indeed. My power is yours. Let it serve your desires. Is that what they call this place now? Very good. Very good indeed. Feeble, cursed one. Do you really think you can manage the glories that are my spells?
These enemies we've been fighting without any heads are known as the mannequins, and they actually have quite the story behind them. The mannequin set reads, "The peculiar art of puppetry is a vestige of the two lost lands. A queen breathed life into these dolls with the very miasma that afflicted her poison-drenched bosom, so that she would have slaves to serve her temperamental will." And this is the same queen that the Covetous Demon carried a torch for. We also learn that the queen's body has become completely drenched and overtaken by this poison, and it's this same poison that we've seen all over Harvest Valley and the Earthen Peak. We learn even a little bit more about the mannequins in their mask description. Mask of the Mannequins of Harvest Valley. A fickle queen gave them life and tore off their faces. How else could she forgive those who dared gaze upon her? So we're finding out here that the queen of this tower is quite the character and has even torn off the faces of the slaves she created because she didn't want them looking at her. But why would this queen not want her subjects and slaves to look upon her? This queen was renowned for her beauty, and this beauty drove men into madness like the Covetous Demon. But something has changed with this queen, both in her heart and her appearance. She is no longer this beauteous queen, but she has now become Mytha, the baneful queen.